Hello everyone, this video is going to be all about how to make these super easy Star Wars Rebels ornaments. Let's start off with Chopper. The first thing you're going to need is the template. The link to all of the templates in this video can be found in the description box. Next, you'll need a pair of scissors and/or a craft knife, some white craft glue, and some ribbon. First, you'll need to print off the template. I would recommend printing it on some thicker cardstock paper. Then, using your scissors or craft knife, begin to carefully cut out the pieces. If you are using thicker paper, you might want to use some corresponding colored markers to color the edges so that they aren't white. This step is optional but highly recommended. Next, take the large curved piece and begin to fold all of the tabs inwards. Once you have all of your tabs folded, take some of your glue and put some on the large tab at the end. Curve the strip of paper ink side out and attach the glued tab to the opposite end of the strip. Hold it in place until the glue sets. Now we're going to be gluing the smaller orange circle to the top part of the cylinder to become the top of Chopper's head. I would recommend you only go a couple of tabs at a time, before continuing to glue more tabs to the circle. Gradually make your way around until all of the tabs are glued to the circle. Once you have the top circle glued down to the tabs, start to glue on the bottom circle. Again, only going a couple of tabs at a time. Next, grab your ribbon and cut a length of it. Match the two ends together and tie an overhand knot. Put some glue on the center gray circle on the top of Chopper's head. Then take your tied ribbon and place the center opposite the knot into the glue. Make sure to let the glue thoroughly dry before trying to hang him anywhere. And there you have your finished Chopper ornament. Next is the white Loth Cat. Again, the first thing you'll need is the template. Then you will need some white felt, a sewing needle, white or light gray thread or embroidery floss, a couple of pins, some polyester stuffing, a fine line pen or marker, a black permanent marker, a blue permanent marker, some scissors and/or a craft knife, and some ribbon. The first thing you will need to do is print out the template. I've printed mine on some thicker cardstock paper just so that the template is a little more stable. Once you have your template printed, begin to cut out the Loth Cat head. Place the template onto your white felt and begin to trace around the template using your marker or pen. Once you've traced around the entire shape, remove the template and place it beside the one that you just traced and do the exact same thing. You want to have two Loth Cat head shapes traced. Next, cut out the felt pieces. Try and cut off as much of the trace lines as you can. Next, match up your two felt pieces. Make sure that if you have any marker around the edges of your felt pieces that they're placed back to back on the inside of the felt. Once you have your two felt pieces matched up, pin them together. Now it's time to start sewing the two felt pieces together. Start by cutting a length of your string or embroidery floss. Next, thread your sewing needle and knot one end. Start sewing the two felt pieces together, starting at the bottom of the Loth Cat head. Make sure to start by hiding the knot in between the two felt layers. I'm using an overhand stitch, but you could also use a blanket stitch. Work your way around the head until you get to the center in between the ears. Once you've reached the center of the head, cut a length of your ribbon, fold it in half, and sew the ribbon in between the two felt layers. Continue to sew your way around the head, stopping when you have about an inch of a gap left to sew. Make sure to not trim your thread yet. You can now remove the pins, but make sure that the sewing needle is still attached to your string. Now, going back to your template, cut out one of the eyes and one of the nostrils. Line up and place your template onto your felt pieces. Use the template as a guide to mark the eyes and nostrils onto the felt using your permanent markers. Go back to your template and cut along the upper part of the mouth line. Line up the template onto your felt piece again to draw the mouth. Make sure the permanent marker has completely dried before starting to stuff the Loth Cat head. Once you have your head stuffed to your desired firmness, continue to sew around the remainder of the head, securing the ends and clipping any extra thread. If you haven't already, tie your ribbon ends into a knot. And there you have your finished white Loth Cat ornament. You could also make other colored Loth Cats using the same steps just by coloring in the felt with permanent marker. And last but not least is the Phoenix symbol ball. Again, the first thing you will need for this ornament is the template printed out. Then you will also need a ball ornament. I'm using a clear one, but you can just as easily use a solid color. Some acrylic paint in various colors, some paintbrushes, a pair of scissors and/or a craft knife, a permanent marker, some tape, and some ribbon or string. Start off by taking your ball ornament and removing this top piece just so it isn't in your way and also so it doesn't get paint all over it. Then, figure out what size Phoenix symbol you want to use on your ball. Once you've decided on a template size, carefully cut out the shape. Loop some tape and stick it onto the back of the Phoenix symbol. Then, stick the template onto your ball ornament. Once you're happy with the placement, begin to carefully trace around the shape using a permanent marker. Once you've traced around the entire shape, remove the template. Now for the fun part, painting your ornament. I'm starting off by painting the Phoenix symbol orange using the lines that you've drawn on your ball as guides. Don't worry if your paint is streaky, you can always do multiple coats of paint. Just take your time painting the Phoenix symbol so that you get all of the detail in. If you want, you can also splatter some of the same orange color around the symbol to really make it look like Sabine has painted it. Let the orange completely dry before adding any other colors. I'm splattering some magenta paint and purple paint onto the other parts of the ball as well as the front. I would recommend that if you are splattering other colors onto the ball that you do so before adding more layers onto your Phoenix symbol so that the Phoenix symbol stands out. Once your paint splatter has completely dried, continue by going over the Phoenix symbol until you have a nice opaque color. If you want to make your Phoenix symbol really pop, you can outline it with a different paint color. I'm using the same purple paint that I splattered the ball with. Take your time outlining the symbol so that you get a nice even line. Make sure to let the paint completely dry before moving on to any other steps. Replace the top part of the ornament if you took it off earlier. Then, get your ribbon, cut a length of it, and feed it through the top of the ornament, tying a knot at the end to create a loop to hang it. And there you have your finished Star Wars Rebels ornaments.